Meanwhile, in Tupac news,
The shooting of Tupac Shakur once again underscores the violence that has surrounded this man since he shot the superstar.
People pulled up, opened fire. Shakur and Knight.
Tupac Shakur was shot several times in the chest. Shakur was pronounced dead.
Machiavellian Illuminati, all through your body. The blows like a 12-gauge shot. Feel me?
In 1993, Tupac gave an interview in which he criticized the private lives of influential African Americans. Among those attacked was Quincy Jones.
He's the man behind some of the most popular music of the last half-century.
In the Source article, he said niggas like Quincy Jones insisting on sticking their dick in white women.
In 1993, rap artist Tupac Shakur gave an interview to the magazine The Source, dissing Quincy for promoting biracial relationships.
Quincy always used to say that his family was the UN. He really loved that idea of the mixing.
He said all this kind of not very nice stuff about my dad and mixed families and mixed kids.
My daughter wrote a letter to him after that. I mean, my family was Jewish.
Rashida wrote back to The Source, taking Tupac to task for his letter.
I said in my letter, how could you even criticize his personal life? And where are you going to be in 10 years? Dead, in jail?
Only Gab can do it like this. Yo, YouTube, what up? This your homie Gab. And this is Machiavelli Media. Quincy Jones, y'all.
He's the man
Quincy
behind
Jones.
some of the most popular music of the last half-century.
Man, I hope y'all enjoy this series, because this series right here, I answer a lot of questions about the seriousness or the officialness of Tupac and Kidada Jones' relationship. Some people say, does Kidada really love Tupac? How could she? She was hanging out at P. Diddy party right after Pac died, and what's up with that? She ain't never gave a real interview, and, you know, something ain't right. You gotta look at the whole history. You can't just look at the now, you gotta look at the then. How did that relationship start? Was it genuine? Did it happen organically? Or was something else at work? Let's take it back. Let's go all the way back to 1993, where you got a young Tupac Shakur calling people out. Pac was on his militant tip. And Pac ain't never been shy to speak his opinion against another rapper, against a politician, against nobody. So no celebrities was exempt from the wrath of Machiavelli the Don. So in 1993, Pac came as Spike Lee, check. Arsenio Hall, check. Eddie Murphy, check. Paula Abdul, check. And oh yeah, one Quincy Jones. Now, a lot of these people ain't had nothing to say back. Some people looked at Tupac as a knucklehead. Some people thought he was crazy. Some people thought he was a troublemaker. And then a lot of people realized what he was saying was true, especially when he called these individuals out, because he wanted them to do more. He wanted to know what opportunities did not only did Eddie Murphy and Spike Lee create for themselves, but for other minority actors coming up behind them. Why don't they produce and direct their own movies? Yeah, Spike Lee is a director, but he's not the big man on the movie. So Pac was saying, why don't you do it for yourself, and then you can hire whoever you want to hire. Instead of saying your hands are tied. You know, a lot of people, when you go to them for help, they say, I can't, I wish I could, but my hands are tied. So Pac was saying, you got enough, influence that you could do it yourself. You don't need nobody else. So he challenged Eddie Murphy. He challenged Arsenio Hall. You know, Paula Abdul was doing urban music, but, you know, made it clear she wasn't one of the people. Pac didn't like that. He got at her. And in Quincy Jones's case, Tupac wasn't feeling what Quincy was trying to promote. Now, Quincy Jones publicly didn't say anything back to Tupac. But this had to be a conversation that was being had around the Joneses' household because Quincy Jones' daughter, Rashida, actually defended the Joneses and came back at Tupac in the Source magazine. It's one thing she said that said a whole lot. When she posed the question to Pac, when she said,
And where are you going to be in 10 years? Dead, in jail?
Dead or in jail. And you say, why is that so important? For you to even say that or to put that in the atmosphere shows a level of dislike and disdain that you got to remember. When you wonder, how does a person go from being hated like that to being embraced and adored and to be family? She said, where are you going to be? Dead or in jail? Now keep in mind, she had every right to be upset. For one, that's her family that Pac attacked. Two, that's her father. And three, he did it on such a public platform. Source magazine was a very high caliber, hip hop, reliable, informational yellow pages. You know what I mean? This was the Source. And we talking about Tupac, a rising star at this time, who was, making headlines for the controversial things he was doing along with his talent. So to get dissed by Pac was a big thing because Pac had influence, right? So now everybody looking at this family because Pac put him under the spotlight. So how do you go from that to that? Let's take a good look at it. Who exactly is Quincy Jones?
He's the man behind some of the most
Quincy
popular
Jones
music
is a
of the
genius.
last half-century.
Quincy Jones is a highly successful businessman. Quincy Jones is a music mogul. Quincy Jones is a iconic figure in the world of entertainment, not just music, but television, film, etc. Quincy Jones done worked with everybody, from Michael Jackson to Frank Sinatra. These are all facts.
With somebody like Sinatra, it was all love.
But there's one thing Quincy Jones does. He hates to lose. This guy has been winning his whole entire adulthood. And he's like 85 years old right now. So he's been winning for over 60-something years. And you don't do that by chance. And you don't do that by being lucky. You do that by being smart. So why would Quincy Jones allow a guy like Tupac to have his daughter's hand in marriage after the things Tupac said about him and his family?
And he was like, you can date whoever you want, but you will not bring Tupac to my house. That's one rapper you will not be dating.
One night, while Kidada and Tupac were at a restaurant, Quincy walked in the door.
Now, the one thing that was rumored, they said Tupac said about Quincy Jones, I don't know to be true. So I'm not going to touch that. Somebody else could talk about that. I never saw the video. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to deal with the real facts. The real facts that I know is Quincy Jones is a very powerful man. Very powerful. Quincy Jones always had a protege around him Michael Jackson in the 80s and the early 90s was Quincy's bread and butter. But it was something new that was ascending, that was getting all the headlines, and it was outselling, the pop R&B that Quincy Jones had engulfed himself in, and that's something called hip-hop. So Quincy Jones started looking for the cream of the crop. Will Smith, Jazzy Jeff, and the Fresh Prince were very successful rappers. Quincy Jones signed them up, got them a television show. The rest is history. Quincy Jones grabbed Queen Latifah, same results. She became a bigger movie star than she is a rapper. Quincy Jones grabbed LL Cool J, signed them up, made him a hip-hop rap/movie star, right? But in 1996, there were no stars bigger than Tupac Shakur. And I believe that Quincy Jones was willing to do anything to get Tupac under his umbrella. Would he be willing to use his own daughter?